Have you heard like of the band member Paul McCartney from the Beatles?
I know about the Beatles. Obviously, who doesn't know the Beatles? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they're like a very famous group back then in like the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So this theory all originated in 1967 from a student from Michigan State University, and the student he claimed that he discovered that Paul McCartney died in a car crash on November 9th, 1967. And the band members replaced him with a lookalike so they wouldn't like get their fans angry or sad.
Well, think about it, right? If somebody dies within the band, let's just say, for example, it's 3 or 4 of them, right? One of them guy dies. Maybe the fans are like, well, it's not a true band no more. We're not gonna want to see the whole. It's not a whole experience. You know what I mean? Because one of them is dead. You know what I mean? So maybe they're like thinking money wise, like, yo, we gotta get somebody in here that looks like, so we can keep this thing going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it wouldn't be the same.
It wouldn't be the same. And then, like I said, the money wise, and also like maybe they wanted to be famous. You know what I mean? Think about it, like the Beatles. The next thing you know, one of them dies before they reach their full potential. Yeah.
So the student he came up with this theory because he gathered clues from the band members.
What the hell?
And it's really interesting because the first clue he gathered was from the album Abbey Road. And it has the image. Do you know the Abbey Road image?
No.
It's very popular, so let me try to find it. It's like 4 men like walking on the street.
Oh yeah, I seen that one. I know. It's 4 men walking on the crosswalk, and they're like in the process of walking, right?
Yeah. So what they were wearing gave the clues. Like one of them was all in all white, John Lennon.
Uh-huh.
And what all white is supposed to represent was a heavenly figure, like when he passed away.
Oh, when you pass away.
Another one, Ringo Starr, was dressed in black like a mourner.
Well, that's what you wear when you go to a funeral.
And like someone passes. Another George Harrison was representing a gravedigger.
What the hell? A gravedigger?
Yeah, like a gravedigger. And Paul McCartney, like the main guy that was in this theory, he was barefoot. Like, you know how like
the hell?
when like
he had no
away,
he had no shoes
at all, no socks.
So you just
barefoot.
walking on the crosswalk.
Yeah.
Or like the guy that's supposed to, I guess you would say, is the clone, or like the guy,
the lookalike.
Yeah, the lookalike guy.
And it was supposed to represent death. And if you look closely at the picture, he's like out of step with all the other members. And they also speculated that he was actually lookalike, the fans, because Paul McCartney, before the whole theory, was left-handed.
What the hell? So he was right-handed all of a sudden.
And in the Abbey Road picture, he's holding a cigarette in his right hand. So they're like, why is he holding a cigarette on his right hand if he was left-handed?
Well, that's really weird because, like, if you grow up going right-handed or left-handed, you don't just switch up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that's like really
hard.
weird. And then not only that, if you do switch up, it'll feel really weird and awkward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would not feel right.
And so another clue he came up with was from the song Strawberry Fields Forever. Have you heard of that one?
No, I don't think so.
So in one of the lyrics, John Lennon, he says, "Let me take you down because I'm going to the strawberry fields." And when fans like say, like when you reverse it, you could hear "I buried Paul."
Oh, wait. So when you reverse that part backwards,
yeah,
in the audio, it says,
hear "I buried Paul."
What the hell?
Which later on, John Lennon denied. But, like, you don't really know, like, if it was true or not. He could have just denied it.
I mean, think about it. What are the like, think about it, right? If you make a full-ass song, and in a certain part of the song, if you move it backward, it says that.
I buried Paul.
Like, what are the coincidences? You know what I mean? I don't think it is.
Out of all the band members, you choose Paul.
Out of all the band members, you choose Paul. Not only that would you say that specific thing you say? You know what I mean?
It's weird.
It's weird.
So yeah, it's like really awkward and like.
What do you think? Do you think he actually died?
To leave in a lyric, probably, but to deny it, you don't really know. But he could just deny it so the fans wouldn't get mad about it.
That's what I'm saying. You can just deny it.
So they won't speculate anything.
I really think I don't know. That doesn't make any sense though. Like, there's a lot of symbolism that he died, and then after he supposedly died, they're making a lot of like signs that like for example, you said like he dressed up as like the Green Reaper, or like barefoot to symbolize like he died. The other guy was wearing white, and then that symbolizes like the heavenly, like you were saying, and then like when you go to funerals, you wear all black.
Yeah.
And then that I remember what you're saying because like I've seen that image all across like the internet, everywhere. 'Cause that's like an iconic image. You know what I mean?
And it's very weird because, like, obviously, like, if you're doing it for money wise, you wouldn't want to hide it.
That's what I'm saying.
But he's like teasing them almost with like all.
Well,
these
maybe
clues.
he wants to like tease him that yo he did die, but I don't want to. I don't want to tell it. You know what I mean? Like he just wants to like kind of see. I guess you can say like secretly tell it without telling it. If you know what I mean. Like he doesn't want to just come out on a press conference. Hey yo man, my guy just died. Then everybody be like, oh my god, like the Beatles are done, or they're gonna break up. Because you know what I mean. You know how society is, and how like all the newspapers, if like a Beatles dies,
quickly.
Yeah, it will spread quickly, and the next thing you know, maybe they get like a lot of backlash.
Especially with the Beatles, because they were like really popular back then.
Really popular, and then I feel like in the music industry, they were one of the, in my opinion, right? They were one of the ones who made rock and roll, or like introducing the first generation. Made it popular. You know what I mean? Because like, who hasn't heard of the Beatles? Even though I more than likely I have heard the Beatles. Like, who doesn't know the Beatles?
Like, even if you haven't heard their songs, you still like
you still know
them.
You still kind of know them, or at least the name of the band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that they're from obviously UK.
So another clue that I want to point out is a lyric that said that was from "I'm the wait, the Walrus was Paul." Oh, so there's a song called "I'm the Walrus," and
The hell.
it says the walrus. One of the lyrics was "the Walrus was Paul," and in some like beliefs, the walrus is supposed to represent death.
Oh.
And it made listeners like refer like if you're referring Paul to a walrus, is he dead?
So in some religions, they see the walrus as like
Some beliefs think like walrus represents death.
death. You see, that's what I'm saying. So it's not like, okay, I understand if it's just like one, like for example, that iconic picture that when they were walking a crosswalk, if they show like certain things, okay, that's one thing, right? But now you're saying that symbolism with walrus and some religion, it shows like death or represents death. Like, come on, you're doing this like multiple occasions now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
you're trying to say something without saying it.
You chose like one specific band member and like you're like sticking
and
to
the same person.
Like repetitive
as well, yeah.
I don't know. It's really crazy. What do you think?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, like, why would you say? Okay, let's just say if he didn't die, right? Why would you be saying that? What do you win out of it? There's nothing. The only way I guess you can win out of it is if he actually did die, and you're like trying to tell the fans without trying to tell them, without breaking their hearts. I guess you can say, you know what I mean, or without portraying or saying, "Hey, the band is not officially over, but like we're breaking up or whatever," because you know the guy died. One of the guys died. I mean, I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. But I'm leaning towards maybe he did die. But like I say, he didn't want to tell the fans.
And it's like for a really big band like the Beatles, like it's not hard to get a lookalike. Like they had a lot of power back then.
And yeah, I mean, you have a lot of money. Think about it, how much money they already made, or they were like on the way making. With money comes power.
You wouldn't want to stop the money.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, keep it coming. And the only way to do that is, all right, man, R.I.P. man, but we gotta keep going. We gotta keep going. So we gotta get a lookalike. But think about it, for the lookalike, knowing like he's not an actual Beatle, but then crazy. You're faking it. And then let's just say, for example, right, a weird thing that I was thinking, right? What was his name again? Paul, right? The
Paul
one he
McCartney.
died. So that guy, right? Let's just say he died, and you replace him the next day, and they ask you questions about the week before. You wouldn't be like, bro, I don't know, bro. I'm just a lookalike. It would be weird, you know what I mean? Yeah, especially like all the people he have like connections with. When they ask him like questions to the lookalike guy, he'll kind of be like, I don't know you guys, but like you guys knew the past guy. You know what I mean? It would be weird.
Yeah, it'd be like awkward. Like
Awkward.
To meet with them.
Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure like some of them would be like, "Yo, you're not. You look like him, but I don't know, man. You look fishy." Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird.